Well, hello and welcome to yet another episode of Shine on Women. Today I'm here with Kris Anderson, Kris with a K, somebody that I've been working with for the past couple years, and I absolutely adore her. So I am very, very excited to have her today on the show with me. Welcome, Kris.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Kris is a coach, a trainer. She does all types of things, mentoring individuals. She does group coaching, and she's such an inspiration. When I think of Kris, I just instantly become inspired because I love this lady. She's just so full of light. So I'm thrilled to have her today on the podcast, and I know that she's going to bring lots of light to it. So with that being said, Kris, welcome. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. The first one.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I've made a kind of a little introduction, but tell us a little bit more just about your business.
Okay. I am a life coach and a motivational, inspirational speaker. My passion is helping men and women to tap into their talents and abilities and really uncover the person they were created to be. A lot of people are stuck with their career, not sure, if they want to stay where they are. Often they're unhappy, unfulfilled. Maybe they're having difficulty with finances or relationships, wellness, health and wellness, and feeling overwhelmed. Maybe they've lost hope and feel like they're never going to find their way. Mm-hmm. And I am someone who wants to be the light for others. Mm-hmm. I've encountered many challenges in my life, felt stuck in many ways, hurting, hopeless, and I never dreamed it was possible to truly come alive in your life. Mm-hmm. And I am living that experience. I have struggled, I have overcome, and I realized how far you can push yourself to become the person that you choose to be. And as a coach and a motivational, inspirational speaker, I tap into people's potential, often where they don't even realize they're gifted, and I coach them to come unstuck and come alive in their life and work.
How beautifully said. I feel inspired already just by you sharing just that much.
Making the impossible possible.
Yeah, and coming alive with Kris, that's your tagline, right?
Come alive and thrive with Kris. Yeah.
Come alive and thrive. Yes. I really love that because, in today's day, we are so focused on just reaching and grasping at so many different things. We're caught up in the busyness. We are knocked down by so many different challenges. And this past year in 2017, a number of my clients went through a variety of different challenges for one reason or another. And I think the value and what you offer in terms of giving that hope and that inspiration is everything that people need to really, get moving and get going and get them motivated to start fresh and to be refreshed from the challenges that they've been through. So that's really extremely encouraging.
Thank you.
So you've worked in a lot of different dynamics with people. So where from here, where do you plan to go? I mean, you're focused on, doing the training and the coaching, and maybe talk a little bit about that. What are some of your dreams and maybe your vision for the year?
Okay. Well, I am a work in progress, and as you know, the old me was someone with low self-esteem, low self-concept. And the more I uncover the layers in my own life, the more I realize what I'm capable of. And I have a message that inspires people. And energizes them in a way that they feel that they can be somebody, or they can do things that they only dreamed about. And I want to get my message out to a broader audience. Technology is here, right? It used to be the way of the future, and it's here. And it's scary in some senses. You have to keep up with it. And I feel like I'm living in the Stone Age. And so one of the dreams I have is to reach a larger audience through motivational and inspirational speaking in businesses or companies or organizations, to help the business owners understand that when you value your employees, you take care of your employees will take care of the customers.
Yeah.
And the customers will tell other people about you and keep coming back. And that's crucial to stay innovative. And companies know that in order to stay competitive, it really is about connecting with people. So that's one aspect of what I want to do. Reach people with tips and strategies on how to get unstuck and get moving in the right direction. And then I also am learning more about Facebook and getting my name out there as a life coach with the niche of career transition, which is something that I know a lot about. I've experienced it many times in my life. And I have discovered the keyword transferable skills, and how it's highly possible to shift your focus from one area where you thought you were good, and maybe your services aren't needed anymore, to something that's also fulfilling to you, where you already have the talents and abilities, but just don't even realize it yet.
Yeah. Well, gosh, isn't that the truth as far as employees are concerned? If you don't have the right types of management in the leadership roles,
Right.
it's going to trickle down. And I know you've, experienced this personally in different settings, as have I, and as have many others. And it's so very hard to be able to have an organization or a business thrive when those individuals refuse to see positive changes that can be made. And so I think that what you're providing certainly is tremendously valuable. And it's necessary today. It's necessary for people to understand the different dynamics of their employees, being that there are so many different personality types. And as things continue to evolve, with the millennial groups coming through, and the idea of what it means to have a 9-to-5 job, that also is transitioning. So, it's very, very important for business owners and individuals in managerial and leadership positions to be aware of that, and to have someone such as yourself come in and provide those trainings, because it's going to be so beneficial to be forward thinking in order to be competitive, in order to stay on top of things, and most importantly, to help employees to be happy and to really enjoy their job and to be fulfilled. Right. So I completely hear you on that. And with regard to the technology, yes, things are consistently changing, and we all have to be aware of that. We have to be savvy to that. We have to be willing to continue to have an open mind when looking at different platforms that we can be using. So that also, again, is very valuable. So you have a lot of stories, Kris, and you've spoken at my events, and you've been a part of my life for quite a while now. And I love when you're able to share them with the audience, and especially when there's something that I feel like God has done. And so much of my personal focus is how God has influenced my life. And just the difference that I've been able to make in the lives of others is because I've been blessed and I've been gifted in a way where I have been able to empathize and coach and encourage individuals through processes that I've experienced and I've gained knowledge from. So I would love for you to be able to share something with the group today that you feel would be valuable.
Uh, well, don't give up. I, I'm a dreamer, and I never realized it was possible for dreams to come true. And as someone who has learned more about God in my life, and really started listening to wisdom that was offered to me from people that I value and respect, I have learned that we are capable of so much more than we could even imagine possible. Like the human potential, we tap into just a small piece of
Mm.
who we can be. And I've seen so many people uh, just exist in a job or in a relationship, and they kind of check out. And in my own life, I have been willing to stretch myself. I've been willing to make mistakes. I've had to laugh at myself many times. I've had to change the focus of my career, change direction, and repurpose myself or my skills. And I realize that I am an asset to many people because I don't just have education behind me. I have life experience that informs me and has shown me that if you really want something in your life, if you want to change, if you have a burning desire in your heart, maybe it's a dream that comes to you when you wake up in the morning. It's this desire to do something, be something, or move in a different direction. And that same feeling is with you when you go to bed at night. It's possible that God put that desire in your heart. It's possible that that's part of your purpose.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that I had a purpose in life, and many other people don't know that either. If you have a job, you go to work. If you hate your job, you survive. You do whatever it takes to survive. And a lot of people make mistakes. They step on people to get where they're going for fear of losing their job. And I say, be your authentic self. There is a place for you. There's a purpose for you. And you don't have to settle. We settle a lot of times. And just imagine how much better, how much different your life could be if you did what you loved, or you associated yourself with people who lifted you up. And I am someone that does that. I have empathy like you because I've walked the hard road, and I have lost hope, wanted to give up so many times, lots of tears. You'll seen, but I'm a better person because I've struggled. I've been willing to stretch myself, play full out, take calculated risks. I'm a risk taker, but a smart risk taker. And I'm willing to challenge myself to be the best I can be for myself and for others. And it's exciting to be able to say, I've made mistakes, but I'm better because of them.
Mm. I love everything you've just said. I feel like I've just
the real deal.
coaching session myself. No, but that's so great, Kris. Such wise words, and I think because you've been through so much and had a lot of ups and downs and been able to come through it, you really just have such valuable advice and wisdom that you can share with people. And when we go through those situations at the time, sometimes we just don't understand it and we're frustrated and we want to get out of it as quickly as we can. But there's always such a great learning process behind it.
Right.
And we always gain so much from it. And I feel like with my personal life and just having all of the ups and downs that I have had in the past, that I wouldn't change any of it, because I wouldn't be able to share what I've been through and give hope and encouragement in the ways that I am had I not gone through it. So I think that there's such a great value in being able to experience the challenges and the hardships and come out of it for the better.
Mhm.
So, and I love how, you express the idea that, God can be through it with us in the midst of all, every single thing that we're going through, and he can use it for good.
Yeah.
So,
And I
maybe
never
we
believed that. I could never imagine that he really could. And he really does. I remember years ago, I went to a career workshop, and I said I wanted to be a life coach. And the presenter laughed at me and he said,
oh,
"You have no life experience." I was so disheartened. That was the
what?
desire of my heart. And, fast forward 10, 20 years, he was right. How do you coach people from a place of not knowing? I had the education behind me. I went through the training, I got the credits, but I hadn't truly lived. And
Hmm.
I don't think that you can really have an impact on another person's life unless, in some sense of the word, you've walked in their shoes.
Right.
So it is not easy to go through a transformation. It takes patience, it takes time, it takes a willingness to look at things from a different perspective. But if you have a coach that you trust, someone who has walked the road before you, even if it looked different for them, that person's not going to give up on you, and they're not going to let you give up on yourself. And if you really want a better life, you got to work for it. And as a coach, I'm the sounding board for people. I help them hear their own thoughts, maybe things they've never spoke out loud before. Maybe they don't trust enough to share their dreams with other people, which definitely is something I caution on. The bigger the dream, the more cautious you have to be. You want to work with someone who is willing to support you through the process and always be by your side to remind you not to give up, that great things are possible when you choose to get unstuck.
And I think too, just having that accountability is huge. Somebody that will remain consistent with you, not only are they your cheerleader, but they're holding you to those specific goals that you're putting into place. And sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need somebody to continue pushing us in the direction that we need to go. And otherwise we can potentially get into a place where, we might be making a little bit of progress, but it's not the quick-paced way that we'd ideally want. So, and,
Absolutely.
we're coming from a wide variety of different scenarios here, but, if whether it be that you're wanting to just build your business and have it be more of a long-term goal, or that you're trying to do something over the course of a month, you're creating a training program and you need to have that done, that individual, that coach, that friend, that person that cares deeply about you is going to help you get to where you need to be in a specific timeline. So, and you just basically shared that, and it's so important to have that timeline, because otherwise you're just open-ended and you never know when you're going to be able to achieve this goal or when you'd hope to achieve this goal. So it just putting that into place helps with that accountability and that time management and organization. So there's so much benefit that goes along with having a coach and somebody that's right there by your side. So yes.
What I think is really exciting is that when you set goals for yourself, the place that you end up is not necessarily or always the place where you started. The thing that you thought you wanted so much
Mm-hmm.
becomes minimal to what you discover about yourself, and maybe you have these insights that inform you to move in a different direction. And that's okay. That's okay. We set goals so that we have some direction, but goals can change. Direction can change. It's a journey. And I never understood when people said, it's the joy really is in the journey versus the destination. But it truly is, because you discover so much about yourself that you weren't aware of. And it's because you were willing to try new things. And it's because you believed in yourself enough to invest in yourself personally and professionally. And that's
Very
awesome.
true. Yeah, I love that word discover. And I think that it is so true, because as you go through the development of your goals, you learn more and more about yourself, and you gain more life experience. So you learn what you want and what you don't want, and your priorities change as you get older. For me personally, when I had my kids, when I had my first child, life changed completely. So, everything about my life changed. And, so when different people come into your life, when, you lose a job, when, somebody dies that you love very much, your priorities can be shifted. And doesn't mean that you don't necessarily want the same dream, but that dream might mean something completely different to you. So I think the fact that when you go through those sessions with a coach and you're continuing to discover more about yourself, it's one of the best things that you can possibly do for your life. Because as you had mentioned before, some people don't even understand what their purpose is. They don't understand what their gift is or why they're here. And they're just going through the progressions, the day-to-day, and they're not really feeling fulfilled in the way that they should be. And they get up, go to bed, do the same thing day in and day out, and they're unhappy. And I'm a firm believer that if you make those choices, then you can find that happiness. If you make those decisions to change, creating positive changes in your life can make all the difference in the world.
Right. And I am the person that you were just speaking of. I thought this is all there is, and that was disheartening. And what I've learned is what's important to me, what I truly value, what I thought was important isn't important to me anymore. As I move to different stages of my life, I realized that I was not aligned with my values. The things that I was doing didn't align with what I said was important. And so I've switched up my values many times. And that's key, to know who you are, where you're going, and really to move forward with confidence. I think confidence is key. And when I talk about motivational and inspirational speaking, so many people say, I could never do that. I could never stand in front of a group and speak, and I wouldn't know what to say. And that was me 20 plus years ago. I longed to speak to others and share a message. And then I thought, what would I say? And because I have truly lived, and I have a love for people, I listen to what's important to them. And what's important to them is important to me. And so I've used my experiences, I've used my education in a way that makes me come alive and makes me more attractive to other people who also want to come alive.
Such great tips and advice today, Kris. So wonderful. And, talking about so many different areas of life that we can be reflecting upon.
Right.
I just love that. And again, I feel really inspired. I can't wait to go about the rest of my day today. So how can people reach you if they want to hire you as a coach or have you come in to do a speaking engagement, inspire their life? What would be the best methods that they can contact you?
Okay. Well, as I said, I'm learning about Facebook. I'm out there, but not in a big way. You could reach me at either heartscomealive.com, HEARTSCOMEALIVE.com, or you can call Kris with a K, Anderson, at 615-1445.
Thank you so much again for being on the show today, Kris.
It was a pleasure, an absolute pleasure.
Aw, I'm so glad we were able to connect here, and I would absolutely love to have you back on the show very soon.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Again, Kris Anderson today with us. Kris with a K. She's such an inspiration. Come alive and thrive with her and connect with her and what she just shared. Thank you, and have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening.